the 2026 AWS Survey with AWS Hero Peter Sankauskas. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Thanks.
Mr. Sankauskas, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
And welcome to all of our viewers and attendees. Happy 2026. Happy New Year. Damien, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too. Did you do anything fun for New Year's?
For New Year's specifically, we watched the Stranger Things show finale. I will admit I've been a little bit obsessed with it. We had to watch it, had to wrap it up. I am a child of that generation. I played D&D, so I needed to make sure that the Demogorgon didn't win, Vecna didn't win, the kids triumphed. I did that. I played some Fallout New Vegas because that's that's another show that I watched a lot of TV. I guess I'll just keep it short. I watched a lot of TV. Damien, what about you?
My wife and I were in bed by 11:30. It was amazing.
Good deal. Yes,
it was amazing. We crated the dogs so they wouldn't fight about the fireworks, and we both passed out. It was wonderful. I did an old man thing, and I loved it.
What about you, Peter?
We discovered a board game called Splendor. Have either of you played it?
Splendor?
Yeah. So we went to a friend's place. They live up on a hill in San Francisco. And so at midnight, we can go to their second story and watch all the illegal fireworks go off in the Mission District. So that's sort of been a tradition for a little while. But leading up to that, we started playing Splendor and had a great time. You are building different cards in order to capture as many points as possible. And so the games only take about half an hour, and there's a couple of different categories and strategies that you can use. But we'd never played it before. They're very easy to learn. We opened up Wingspan and we're like, this is not a game for tonight. This is overwhelming, and all I did was open the box. So Splendor it was. And then a game of Catan again.
SPLENDOR with the guy holding the cards on the front face of the box. Cool.
Yeah, highly recommend that.
There's a really fun tabletop game that we picked up called We're Doomed. What I like about it is it's fast-paced. Every round is limited to 15 minutes. It's really easy to pick up, and it's super chaotic. So
nice.
It's fun. It's very accessible. It's fun. We taught my wife's parents how to play it immediately, right? So yeah. It's a good little game. It's called We're Doomed. It's really enjoyable.
Nice. I'll look that one up.
It's so funny that you guys mentioned maybe 2026 is the year of the board game, because my brother-in-law has been asking us to play this game called Clank. So they're a big board game family, and they've got a game called Clank, which is a board game version of a deck building roguelike, where you're traveling through a dungeon and you're accruing points and getting sneakier and sneakier. And if you don't wake up the dragon with a clank, if you don't pull the clank card and wake up the dragon and die, then you win. It's like a dungeon crawl. We're actually going back over there this weekend to play it because they want to play it with us now. So
nice.
Everybody's getting into board games. This is great.
It is.
Everything else is too expensive, so we have to get into local board games, something cheap.
We're just talking about the cost of a gaming PC. Forget it. I'm just going to buy a board game.
Yeah, I put off buying my dream framework, and now I'm kicking myself because I'm like, that's probably twice as much. So, yeah.
Somebody just mentioned a framework to me this morning too. That's the build it yourself, the assemblable laptop, the ones where you can slap them together. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So it's basically a laptop that you can upgrade over time, right? So you can swap out the CPU or the video card, kind of the things that are all in one on the board in traditional laptops. So yeah, it's there's a lot more customizability, and you can upgrade it over time rather than just throwing your laptop away and getting a new one. So I like it.
You're the second person to talk about that today. Now I got to look up Splendor and Framework. Okay, that's a ton of good stuff for us to look up.
We should just
All right.
talk about links we want to share on the show.
Yeah.
2026 is just going to be cool. It's show and tell. This is vBrownBag this year is going to be just show and tell. These are the cool things that I'm doing on the cheap nowadays.
Yeah.
All right. The reason that we are here today, Mr. Sankauskas, is because what year is this of
this is a
the survey?
Year.
This is the 4th year of the AWS survey. Well, for those in the audience that do not know about the survey, what caused you to build it? What was your impetus and what was your inspiration?
Funny enough, this started because a friend of mine kept using Elastic Beanstalk, and I'm like, dude, no one uses that anymore. And yet, over the last year, like it's got a lot of love and upgrades and things like that. So, like maybe I was totally off. But I didn't have any data to point him to say, look, like this is a dying service. You should use one of these other services. And so, 4 years back at reInvent, I asked around, and who has data like this? What exists? And no one really had anything. And I remember back seeing the State of JavaScript report and finding that really useful because sort of similar where different JavaScript frameworks change so much. Like, is anyone using Ember anymore? What's the temperature on Angular now? Everyone's using React. Like, what tooling or testing frameworks do they use with React? And so that was a really good way of measuring things and like I'm starting a new project, like which ones should I pick? And so like I need something like this for AWS. And so no one had it, so I built it.
Cool.
Yeah. And so now 4 years in, we're starting to have trends. Like you don't have trends year one, you just have a single data point.
Right.
But now we've got, by this 4th year, we're starting to have trends. We can make some predictions about which way different services are going to go. This year, I also added a new category in and updated the old one. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
I will admit that this year so in prior years, what we'd been doing was I went into it blind, proving what a big dummy Chris was about AWS services, and like I didn't even hear about this one, even though I sat at the front row of the keynote for the past X number of years. I went through it earlier today to make sure that, because I wanted to see what the trends had happened, because I knew that you were going to change a couple of things around, and I wanted to see how it went. Mm-hmm. So I apologize, Pete. I will not be able to be the person to do it live. So I am voluntolding Damien to take the survey this year. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I can do that.
Doing it live.
So is there anything that you want, before we start doing the survey, Pete, is there anything that you wanted to pre-stage with it or talk about prior to it?
Yeah, I think there's some explanation behind the scenes that I don't know that we've done before.
Okay,
that might be a little bit interesting. Can I screen share on this?
You certainly can.
Fantastic.
If you click the little share button down there, I can pop up.
Share. Allow.
You've done StreamYard. You were here last year.
Ta-da!
There you go.
I'm sure he very, clearly remembers an entire year ago.
Nope.
Very clearly.
Yes. Damien, my add to stage clicker button isn't clicking. Can you? Oh, duh! I'm an idiot. Hold on. There we go.
There we go. So when you do the survey, every service, CloudFormation, Terraform, OpenTofu, like all of them, have these 5 answers. And every year that I do this, there's always a discussion of like, why is it these answers? And so the thing that I wanted to point out is this is measuring, have I used the service or not? That's one dimension that this is going on. And then the other side is interest level. If you haven't used it, like, is this something that I want to learn? Is this something that I've heard about and I absolutely don't care about? Or I've never heard about it? Or if I have used it, is this something that I would use again? Or there's no way that I'm using this again? And so there's like, if you put this on a quadrant, like it's use, not use, interested, not interested, would recommend it, would not recommend it. And so that's the framework that this is measuring. And so that gives you the ability to then slice and dice this across a number of different aspects. And so I've actually got the calculations for what that looks like. So usage is the default one that you have, and that is counting both the people that have used it and would use it again, and the people that would not use it again over the total.
Out of total response, right? Yep.
Right. And so that gives you a sense for people, the popularity of the system in folks that have actually used it, but it doesn't tell you if people liked it or not. And so that's where, if you take that information and also include this positive negative split, this is where you get to see the full sort of spectrum. So Terraform, 65% of people have used it and would use it again. And so you get to see the same data, but like sliced in different ways, which I think is pretty interesting to be able to use that to try and predict trends and like how things are going to go. On the retention side, it's I've used it and I would use it again versus I would not use it again. So that is basically, all right, I've used this, and excluding all of the things that would be the detractors. If you look at like the NPS score, these are the ones that are going to keep coming back and using it again and again. And this one's really sad for Wing Lang, because that's pretty high retention. And late last year, they ended up shutting down. And so I know. And so they're not in the survey this year. But that's a pretty good number to use in your marketing slides of like the retention of things there.
Yeah, totally.
Awareness is probably the broadest one, which is probably why CloudFormation is 100%. You don't usually see 100% in surveys and responses.
Right.
But that one's like getting rid of everyone that has never heard of it over the total. And so that's just awareness. The interest side,
information.
Yeah. The interest side is I've never used it and I want to learn. And so this is the one where if you want to see, if you want to build some training materials or build some guides, things like that, if you're in that sort of space, the ones with the highest interest are the ones that have the most number of people that are eager to learn this stuff. And so this is an area where you can invest time, like putting content, blog posts, videos, like all that sort of thing. And so I don't think I've ever really explained this before, like connected the dots between like why those graphs and these calculations and how it all works. But I thought we could spend a little bit of time just doing that.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense too. One question for the interest one, it was never heard of it, want to learn, divided by never heard of it, want to learn, plus heard of it and not interested?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've never heard of it and I want to learn. So that's your like a base level. And then never heard of it and I'm not interested. And so they're the ones that don't know it, like they haven't used it before, but they also don't care about it.
Gotcha.
And so it's removing, like using that as the denominator there. So like
you're adding everybody that has total awareness of it minus the people that heard about it but aren't interested. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. So like, what's a good one? Probably here. If you have a look at Jenkins, not that many people want to learn it because most people already know it. In fact, most people would not use it again.
I've had a never experience with it.
And yet, usage, like it's still there. It doesn't have the retention as you would expect. And if you do alphabetical, you can sort of watch them change. But Jenkins is not something that people want to keep using, but it just never dies. It's not going anywhere.
Much like Fortran and COBOL.
Yes, exactly.
So since we're looking at 2025 and just trying to understand what this looks like, if you go to AI and ML, Sorry, I have the actual live YouTube stream over here. So
You're watching.
I was looking at it and I'm like, nothing is happening. Yeah, because it's on delay. So if we were to look at usage, right? Like OpenAI is at the top; it's at 72%.
Yep.
But does OpenAI retention mean that 91% want to use it again, and then what interest is they've heard about it and they're interested? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting how OpenAI was at the top for one and near the bottom for the other. I was wondering what to kind of take away from that.
Yeah. So 99% like know about it. It exists, and so like they don't have any issues with their marketing. Everyone knows about it. The interest is showing you down here that 49% are interested in learning it. So 50% of people haven't learned how to use OpenAI in the context of AI ML. So this is not like using ChatGPT. This is I can't use OpenAI through Bedrock, and so I need to connect to their APIs directly. And this is kind of one of the reasons that I split out in the survey this year and added a new category called AI SDLC because I didn't know what else to call it. And I think that was a pretty good grouping for it.
Yeah, it made sense.
Where most of the providers have an API, but then they also have either a CLI or an IDE they have added. Could I say any more third level acronyms? Just like replaying what I said in my brain, like what is it doing?
You better get it done PDQ, man.
And so yeah, that new category, because AWS has entered the space with Hero and actually done a pretty good job with it. And so measuring that versus Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, Copilot, I thought was a pretty good addition to the AI ML like world.
All right. So why don't we bring forth our first victim? Damien, you ready?
So am I just like going through this live?
Do we want to? I mean, we did it. We did it last year. I don't want him to blaze through it, but I also don't want to. I don't want to put Damien on the spot if he doesn't want to be on the spot.
No, it's fine. I just am probably not as familiar with AWS as somebody else.
Which is entirely the point.
And I'm going to call this out that what if I don't have an answer or an opinion on a topic? Skip it. The whole survey, you can actually click next, go through the whole thing and hit submit and give me 0 data, and that counts.
Oh, so I'm done actually.
Because like, I mean, how many, and this is the biggest challenge with this survey, how many people like filling out surveys and questions? And so you have to remove as much friction from this as possible, even to the point where I could link out to every one of these services. Like, what the hell is CDK TF, or what the hell is Pulumi? And I could link out to those. I specifically don't, so that someone stays here doing the survey rather than, and only takes 5 minutes to do it, rather than like doing a bunch of research and all that sort of thing. So I've tried to remove as much friction as possible from this.
Honestly, if they actually, instead of if they actually provide a link, but if they click on it, that clearly means they've never heard of it, not sure what it is. So just fill that in as the radio button. Just when they click the link, just auto radio button.
Right.
So, Damien, do you want to share your screen and go through it?
Sure, 100%.
All right, let's do this. I will pop Peter's down. Did you get a new guitar, Peter?
Oh, I wish. No, this guy, when we first moved to America 19 years ago, this was the guitar that my wife bought because I had to leave my one in Australia that was, nice fancy guitar. And it was like when you move to a new country, particularly America, and you don't have a California's driver's license, social security number, or a credit history, you can't do much.
Yeah.
And so that was the first guitar that we could afford, given all of the 3-4 months of rent in advance and blah blah blah. So it's got a special place in my heart, though.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was going to yell at Damien for clicking the wrong answers.
Oh yeah, what did he say for Terraform?
I said never used it, would like to learn. I have only barely used it, right?
Wait, are you serious, Damien?
Yes, I know.
You've got a job to do.
I have been remiss. I am, as a friend, I apologize for not.
It's just been the brain bandwidth, right? Like we were talking, before the show about what we did over the holiday break. I actually plan to start studying for the certified Kubernetes admin, just for the hell of it, because my employer, their product runs on Kubernetes, right? So it's like, it's paper I could get, and I work with Kubernetes every single day, right? I could not get my brain to pay attention for like 15 minutes. That's how much I needed a break. So yeah, a lot of these things, it's like I've heard of it, but I just don't have the time,
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
When you are ready, I will be happy, more than happy, to do a live on vBrownBag. Damien, this is Terraform, and we're going to walk through it together.
So yeah, that would be good. I even got a good friend of the show, Mark the Terraform guy, who's
Mark Tinderholt.
Yes. Mark Terraform Holt. I even got his course that he created. It might be on Udemy, I think. Barely even started it. I think I got far enough along to be able to tell him it was a 5-star course.
He would be thrilled to hear that you know him as Mark the Terraform guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even being sarcastic. I genuinely mean that. He goes. His nickname is the Azure Terraformer. That's his company logo thing and all that good stuff.
So some of these, it's like heard of it but don't have time would be for me, right? Like I'm aware of what Ansible is, have zero time to dig into it, used it and would use it again. Never heard of this before.
Oh, Jenkins.
Here we go. Used it.
Yeah. Every opportunity to crap on Jenkins possible. Good for you.
So I'm marking not interested just because there's no intersection between personal and work in which I would be using AWS CI/CD tools.
Yeah, no, these are all fair answers.
And in this category, Code Catalyst dead, Proton dead, so they're not being measured this round. So this is also like part of the AWS cleanup effort, which I think is usually a good thing.
Okay, so we talked about this a little bit last year, the AWS cleanup effort. You had to make a couple of changes, like for example, you broke out OpenTofu and Terraform into their own categories. What other deprecations or modifications? Because the frustrating part about a survey is you want it to be consistent over the course of years so that you can see good numbers. And so when you make a change, like the longer you wait to make the change, the harder it becomes to make the change because you don't want to crap on your numbers anymore. So what else have you modified? You got rid of Winglang.
Yep. I was going to get rid of CDKTF, but one of the heroes reached out and said, please don't. We're trying to do this under OCF.
Thorsten.
Yep. So, all right, great. I'll keep that in. So that one wasn't too much of a change. Talked about the CI/CD ones. On the serverless side, I pinged Ken about including Lambda, but he hasn't worked on it in about 2 years, and he didn't respond. And so I'm like, All right, I think he's moved on. I'm going to remove that one.
You mean Ken Collins, right?
Yeah.
He didn't respond to you?
Not in the hero chat.
Oh, I'll ping him for you for that, because he's kind of like remarkably unresponsive in the hero chat. He's been playing a lot more Arc Raiders, so I chat with him like every night on Discord.
We go back to the gaming machines.
In fact, I'm going to go yell at him on Discord right now for not responding to you.
There you go.
No. Step functions, Event Bridge, those power the vBrownBag. I have to deal with it every time Chris breaks the thing behind the scenes. So yeah, it's not him. It's not Chris.
I can't believe Chris breaks anything.
I'm just a bull in a china shop. Everybody knows this.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris, when I first built some of that automation that runs behind the scenes, Chris taught me new test cases. Just let Chris break it.
I'm just a really good. I'm the perfect QA tester. You used emojis. Why would you do that, you idiot?
You need someone that acts as that role.
Yes.
My wife is fantastic at breaking stuff, and so I got her to go through the survey, and she found a few things. So it's always good to have that. That's a skill. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it was because of Chris's love of emojis that forced me to actually go into the vBrownBag.com database and do a bunch of MySQL nonsense to fix the collation, because it was all wrong. And so he would use emojis and it would come out as garbage. I was like, this is a labor of love for you, Chris, and it works now.
Nice.
I wonder how many people think that a lot of my tweets and posts and social media are like AI, I've just hooked an AI agent up to all of my stuff, because I use M dashes, which I heard is like a clear indicator that you're obviously a bot. I use emojis.
Totally.
I do all. In fact, they probably were parsing all of my tweets and stuff, and that's how they came up with how an AI bot should talk. I should sue somebody.
Is Amazon Q Business the little chat bot that's in the console?
That's Amazon Q, but not Q
Jesus
Business.
Christ.
Yeah, I know. Q Business is the chat interface.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Yeah, you're meant to do this in 5 minutes. We'll
Answer honestly.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a new category.
I have heard of this. Yeah, I have heard of this.
Because we talked about it 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I actually used this today.
Were you on the Heroes on Kiro
I was.
thing, Damien? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I haven't used Gemini CLI, although I have used Gemini for work because we've got it in our workspace.
Mm-hmm.
One of my coworkers was asking Gemini what a gem was, and Gemini came back with this really creepy, a gem is the good parts of my personality. Should I let my gems shine more? And we all had to we were like, no, Gemini, no. that was the weirdest, creepiest way to talk about it.
Ew. It went into naughty creepy land.
Yeah, but LLMs that don't understand themselves as a product are kind of a fail, right? Asking Gemini about itself, I actually got incorrect answers because I was asking it hey, this is in our workspace. Can I talk about proprietary stuff? And it was like, do not. It was wrong, right? It's if you don't know your own self, right?
It's not very
Claude is really good at understanding Claude, by the way.
AI.
Yeah.
I actually did manage to get it to trip up the other day. I was like, hey, Claude, can you make images? And it was like, sure, I can. I was like, okay, great. Make this. He was like, oh, sorry. No, I lied to you. I really can't. You got to go over to Midjourney to do that. I was like, you son of a bitch. You liar.
All right. I'm only going to answer this as yes, and I will continue to participate because I have the honor of interfacing with a lot of AWS community people on the vBrownBag. But I've never actually been to a community meetup, or I've never even been to a reInvent.
So this last question, x86 versus Graviton, where did that come from, Peter? That's a new one.
So that was first year last year. Just to sort of gauge how many people have made the jump over. Last year, 56% of folks had already done the migration, which means that 40-something% just like wasting money.
So this is, I'm actually not too familiar with the ECS stuff, but this is like the underlying ECS compute, right?
This is the architecture that is being used. So Graviton is Amazon's custom silicon, but it's just ARM based. And so same as your Mac laptop. And so the price performance is better than the x86 pretty much across the board. I don't think there's any exceptions to that rule. And so, but it does require you to, if you're using a Node app, it probably doesn't matter too much. But if you're compiling code, then you need to compile it for ARM rather than x86. And so there's a couple of changes that you need to do to your build pipeline. GitHub Actions, unless you've got paid license with them, make it really hard to use ARM. So you have to cross-compile, which then kills your GitHub Actions performance. But those are the once you do it, like it's just a little bit of pain, but once you've done it, your bill gets 15% discount.
Damien, you have more than 3 to 5 years of AWS experience.
I have more than 3 to 5 years of working for companies who were terrified of AWS.
And where are those companies now?
Let's see, it's Dell, VMware, EMC. It's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah. Good old VMware.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say like personally and professionally, probably just 3 to 5 years.
Okay. All right.
There's no tech marketing in here, for shame.
Sales and marketing.
Oh God, you insult me.
Hey, in my new role, I'm technically part of the sales org. So
yeah.
I mean, when I flipped over to DevRel, I my boss's boss was the CMO until we came over to IBM. So I also was in marketing. I'm back in product and software now, but I was in marketing before. So, and there we go.
Yeah,
the survey is complete.
I just didn't want to have my email on the thing. Although it's not like it's a secret what my email is, but all right, I submitted it. I did it. I did.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the best data point, but it's a data point, I guess.
It counts. It counts.
Yeah, the more the better. You know how the law of averages goes.
That's right.
Nice. All right. So
yeah, I'm curious to see with this year, like where S3 tables, like what the usage is on that, because that was a new one that I added too.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's going to be interesting to see that. And I'm also really curious to see if CDK finally makes the jump up positions on either the IAC side or the serverless side, because CDK generally has pretty good retention. But it hasn't seen that lift in growth or usage that I would have expected.
We should have brought Bonagon to comment on that. Well, were there any surprises coming out of 2025 that like really were like, I never even expected that?
Surprises. I think actually seeing Graviton be 53% was a surprise to me. I thought more people would be leaving money on the table, but that could also be the types of people that fill out AWS surveys.
Right, right. It is a biased subgroup.
Yeah.
All this is just it's something to inform. It is not to take gospel.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But the more people that fill it out, the stronger you can have on it. So we'll see how close we can get to 25,000 responses.
That's awesome. That's a tremendous amount of responses.
It would be, yeah. Last year was 400.
Yeah. That was a great setup, man. I like it.
You know what? We all aspire to greatness.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean that's basically the show for this evening, because I mean we wanted to do the survey. We want to encourage people to get out there and answer the survey. We've talked about the surprises from the previous years and covered how to do the survey. So, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Mr. Sankauskas? About
My son asked me a question that I couldn't answer.
What's that?
Why is this called vBrownBag? What's a brown bag? He didn't know.
Wait, did you not know the answer to that question either?
I know what a brown bag lunch is, and so I explained that to him, and he's like, "But I don't get it. Like, why does he call this a brown bag? Does he expect you to eat on camera?"
So
it's a bit dated.
For those listening, a brown bag lunch back in ye olden days when we used to go into the offices, children, we would all gather at the lunch table and we would have a brown bag lunch, and we would do like a miniature technical talk. One person would be giving. We would have a brown bag, and everybody would get there, and we'd do like a little technical talk.
Lunch and learn.
A lunch and learn, a brown bag, whatever. There's like several different terminologies used for it across different areas of the States and the world, I've learned. Mm-hmm. The V is for virtual. So a virtual brown bag is one where we are all disparate and spread across the globe, yet we still get together to learn at the feet of somebody super smart like Peter Sankauskas. Yeah. So yeah, there was born the name vBrownBag.
Yeah, when Cody Bunch started this, he was studying for VMware certification in the evenings, and he thought, why don't I just do it online and we can eat dinner and go through this stuff together, right? And then, so that was
eating was originally involved.
Yeah, that was at least 15 years ago. And I think I started hosting. Because Cody had to kind of step away for work, like maybe 2010, just to give you an idea as to how long this has been going. And then like 2015, 2016, I kept forgetting that the vBrownBags were coming, and I was like, all right, it's time for someone else. But yeah, Chris had been taking it strong in the modern era of vBrownBag.
2,700 episodes later, here we are.
Yeah, good Lord.
Not time to rename it to DoorDash and Zoom yet.
No, but we could call it vBrownBag Pilot or something. I don't know.
Only Tech.
vBrownBag. We actually have talked about renaming it. But it's a labor of love. Like I tell people that our YouTube revenue literally just pays for our S3 bill.
That's it. Not even the website, not even the StreamYard fees. It's right. We do this because we enjoy it, not because if we change the name, it would be this massive effort to like rebrand stuff that just kind of has like accreted over the years. And we don't give a big a shit enough to change it.
Yeah. I think we're also busy with our lives and our day jobs that like we know that we could do a lot more. Like I had talked with Chris about starting up our own Discord server, but then it was just like, who the hell's going to run it? Right. Like,
right.
We're also busy. So, yeah.
So yeah, it's this is our fun evening passion project.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, Peter, when is the last day of the survey? When are you wrapping it up?
February 6th. So yeah, I always keep it open for a month. So it's January 6th to February 6th. And results will be a week or so after that. I've automated the most of the tabulations at this point.
Cool. Okay. So we will get this in the can and published, and I will spam out on the socials to encourage everybody to go forth and take, even my mom. I'll have my mom take the survey. Just to.
If she's used AWS, like, yeah.
She's like, yes, I've ordered a book. Good enough. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, Peter, have a wonderful evening. And folks, we will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks
y'all. Have a good night, Peter.
Bye, team.
Bye.